lead off with you in regards to Zachariah Branch, who's going to be announcing his destination here, the five-star wide receiver whose brother is committed to USC, correct? And it looked early on in his recruitment period that he might be a Buckeye, but maybe things not so positive at this point.
He on. I mean, yeah, he's going to go and he's going to SC. You don't announce at this point to sit there and be different. And truthfully speaking, it might be best for Ohio State that he does announce somewhere else, and then you have a year to try and flip him at this point. Can you imagine how difficult it would be to try and hold on to him at this point if he picked anybody other than USC? So I'm not saying, oh, well, this is definitely a flip candidate and things can happen there, but I'm saying that if he picked Ohio State or he picked one of the other two finalists not named USC, that team would be on the defensive the entire way through. Let's kind of see what happens year one with Lincoln Riley there and everything else. But, I say the chances there are very slim of anything happening there. And the chances of him picking anybody other than USC on Christmas Eve are about nil. Sorry, I had a cat clawing on the sofa. I had to throw a pin at it.
Well, obviously he can play. He's one of the few five stars out there. Steve, Tony, anything else on Zachariah?
No, he's another, I think slot receiver-ish, but is still young and would have been a good get. But I'm with Kevin. If you land him now, you've got to fight to keep him. At least if him going to USC, he gets to experience USC through his brother firsthand. If things don't go well, he's back on the market and then you have a shot. If he commits to Ohio State at this point, he's going to be looking at how his brother's doing at USC the entire time, and may want to eventually leave or play with his brother. So just get that out of the way. Go play with your brother. If things don't go well this year, then maybe he looks back at it again. But yeah, it's what's Urban Meyer say when you get like a commit from a Florida kid? That just means they're interested, and that's without their brother being somewhere else.
Yeah, I think once his older brother picked USC, it seemed like it was going to be an uphill battle to get the younger brother. What I noticed seeing them at one of the OSU home games is that I think the younger brother is not the tallest guy in the world, maybe only 5'9", 5'10", and that can work against you sometimes as a wide receiver, obviously. So, but obviously an outstanding prospect. Both of them are. So I guess we'll see, how USC is able to use those guys. And again, Lincoln Riley is making them kind of a formidable force there on the West Coast again, it would seem, or working toward that. And, the proof will be in the pudding here in the next couple of years if he's able to win some football games and get the Trojans back to the top of the Pac-12.
And I could correct me if I'm wrong. They're Bishop Gorman kids, right? Zion Branch and Zach Branch. So Ohio State has been in the mix so much at Bishop Gorman, has landed Haskell Garrett, landed Tate Martell, thought they were going to get at one time Paula Ienaoteote, then did. So there's been some interesting drama with Bishop Gorman over the years, and there have been other players in the mix as well that didn't choose Ohio State from that school. It's the I guess the Las Vegas Glenville in terms of there's always somebody there, except Glenville hasn't been Glenville for the last 5 or 6 years.
Steve Yakov 22 wants to know if you made it to the 85 Rose Bowl.
No, I would have been a junior in high school on January the 1st, 1985. I watched it on television. I was there the next time they played in the Rose Bowl on January 1st, 1997, which, if my math's right, what are we coming up on? 25-year anniversary of that is coming up on January 1st. That was a good day for the Buckeyes. So I was there for that one, there for the Oregon one in late 2000s, and then for the Washington one. And was also there when they played UCLA in 2001 in a regular season game. One of the worst college football games ever played. It was after 9/11, like 10, 12 days after 9/11. and I think it was 13-6 or 13-7. 13-7 may have been the final score. They lost, and the only touchdown for Ohio State was on a blocked punt recovery. So that'll give you an idea how bad Ohio State was that day and how bad they were in Jim Tressel's first year as the head coach.
I think it was just last week we beat up a little bit on Steve Bellisari, so I won't say anything. But, yeah, I remember that game as well. So no offensive points for the Buckeyes on that day against the mighty Bruins, who were probably all of a 6-6 team that year.
I did win a lottery, the 96 Rose Bowl, 97 Rose Bowl, 96 season. I was a junior, and students had to submit to the lottery to win the opportunity to buy Rose Bowl tickets. And I won, but I had no money, couldn't afford tickets, or especially couldn't afford the trip. So that was as close as I got to that Rose Bowl, which was a good one to go to.
And I lived in Southern California for the 85 Rose Bowl, but I wasn't really interested in either team playing at the time. And I'm sure probably watched a little bit of it on TV and then went outside to go play in shorts and tank top or something because I was in Southern California.
Yeah.
He's got a nice television story for the 96 Rose Bowl, don't you, Kevin?
Give it to us.
That'll have to be a nighttime story or something because I don't want to share that one right now.
Some of the language might be
a little blue.
So it's not quite the same story without the language. You can't clean it up, and then we can fill in the blanks.
I don't know. Steve likes the story a lot more than I do. So if anybody's going to tell it, it's going to be Steve because I lived it, and all these years later, I still don't find a lot of humor in it.
Yeah, trying to produce live television, he was in a bit of a struggle there with Channel 6 was trying to do wraparound coverage, around the game, and poor Kevin, they put Kevin in a tough spot. So
we'll leave it at that, I guess. The 85 scene out there in L.A., Kevin, were you already tracking the Dodgers, Greg Brock and Mike Marshall and those guys? Steve Sachs?
Yeah. My first memories of watching the Dodgers were 77, so I was well on board with the Dodgers at that point, despite living much closer to the Big A, the pre-Edison International Disney show Angels, and I was all about that team. Baseball was my first love.
That was the horror of the Jack Clark home run off Tom Niedenfuer in the. Sorry. Okay.
I remember.
Yes. Okay. We'll move on to the Buckeyes. I'm sure everybody wants us to, even though I could start digging into old baseball. There's no doubt about that.